Hi, fourth graders. Welcome back to our second week of math. This week, we're going to be looking at division using money, and kind of what we talked about a little bit last week. It's kind of getting us geared up using division using decimals. And what better way to divide than using money, so we can see how each person will get the same amount equally. So these problems, we're going to work on 4 problems today. They are almost identical to 4 of the problems that you are going to be working on this week. However, I've changed a couple of the names and I've changed the numbers. So the answers won't be the same, but the setup for each problem will be. So feel free to use this at any point when you are working with or through your own math worksheet, and we're going to dive in. So for each problem, I'm going to show you 3 different ways of how to solve it. One, we're going to use breaking apart money itself. The second one is going to be our zone method. And the third will be our standard long division to solve that equation. So we're going to dive right in. So let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says, Mrs. Anderson gave her 3 grandchildren $84 to share equally. How much money did each grandchild receive? So we're going to think about that as we're going to split $84 into 3 groups to her 3 children. So let's take a look at that in terms of money, okay? So we have $84, okay? And we're going to split that into 3 groups. I'm kind of making them like little rectangles because it reminds me of like dollar bills, okay? Easier to see for me. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to think about what is the most I can give each group without going over. What's the largest bill that I could give to each group without going over our goal of $84? I could do 10, 20, 30. But that's not very close to my 84. We could bump it up to $20 a person, 20, 40, 60. I like it. How about $30 a person, 30, 60, 90. All right. We now know that 30 is going to be too much because we only have 84 to go with. So I'm going to start with that $20 a piece. So I'm going to give 20 to this person, 20 to this person, and 20 to this person. So if I add that up, I have 2, 20, 40, 60. So I have $60 that I have now spent. All right, we're getting there. We now have to go from 60 to 84. So let's see, if I gave another person $10 more, so we have $60. So that would be 60, 70, 80, 90. Well, that would be too much. So let's cut that in half. Let's say I gave each person $5 more. 60, 65, 70, 75. I can do that. So I'm going to do $5, $5, and $5. Okay? So now we have 5, 10, 15. So we have another $15 we just took. So now we have spent $75. All right, we're getting pretty stinking close to that 84. So let's figure out how much do we have left, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that 84 minus 75, just so I can see, okay, I've used a bunch of money, how much do I have left? Well, I can't take 4 from 5, so I'm gonna need to borrow, and this becomes 14. 14 take away 5, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and 9, okay? We have $9 left. So how are we going to split that $9 between those 3 people? $9 between those 3 people. Well, I'm gonna just start giving $1 away. So we have 9, 8, 7, 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I don't have any money left. I took that 9 that I had left And I just started breaking it apart, $1 a piece, to see how much. Now I have distributed all of my money. So the question is, how much did each person get? 25, 26, 27, 28. So each person would receive $28. Each person equally received $28. So that's how we would break it apart if we were using that money piece, all right? Let's take a look if we were gonna do zone, okay? So remember, zone, we have our $84. I put each into its own space, its own zone, okay? And I'm going to divide it by 3. So then we ask ourselves, how many times can 3 go into 8? Well, if I know my multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, it's too much. So 6 times, it can go in twice. We subtract 6. 8 take away 6 is 2. All right, I'm done with this zone. Who remembers, where does that 2 go? You're right, it goes up here, and this new number now becomes 24, because our leftovers went to the zone next door. Well, I know my multiples of 3s. 3 can go into 24 evenly 8 times. We subtract 24. I don't have any leftovers, so I get the same answer of 28. All right, last example. Standard long division. So we make our house, okay? The big number always goes inside, 84, and we're dividing by 3, okay? So just like our zone, we're gonna take one number at a time, okay? One number at a time. 8 goes into 3 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. We're gonna subtract. 8 take away 6 is 2. Now I bring down my number to make my new fancy number. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 3 go into my new number of 24? Well, we know that now is 8. We subtract by 24. Boom, baby. And we get the same answer as we did the first time of 28. So there were 3 different ways to solve that equation. We just did both. We did the first was money, zone, and long division. So let's take a look at question number 2 here. It says, Jen, Whit, Jess, and Renee spent $68 to buy a present for their Aunt Rhea. If they all contributed the same amount, how much did each person contribute? So my first thing I got to figure out is, how many am I going to divide by? How many people are we talking about? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to divide by 4 people, 4 things. So that means my division, I need to figure out if I have $68, and we're going to divide that into 4 people, 4 groups, okay? So again, the first one we're going to do is we're going to use that using our money. So I'm going to create my money. 2, 3, 4. Dividing by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Got it. Boom. Okay. So same thing like I did before. I'm going to figure out what's the largest number I can distribute to each person without going over the actual retail price of $68. So let's see. Let's start with 10. If I do 10, 20, 30, 40, that's pretty close. Yeah. Could I do 20? 20, 40, 60, 80? Oh, no, that's too much. Too much. Let's stick with 10. I'm going to get $10, $10, $10, and $10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. I have used $40 so far. 40 out of my 68. Okay. Now I can't do another 10 because I know that that would already be too much. But what about half of that? $5 each. So if I had 5, 10, 15, 20, And I know 20 plus 40 would be 60. I can do that. So I'm going to do $5, $5, $5, and $5. 5, 10, 15, 20. So now I have $20 that I've used, which is a total of $60. Woo, that's pretty close. I have to go from 60 to 68. And I have to divide that into 4 equal groups. So that means I have $8 left. Right now, I have $8 left. So I'm going to distribute that one by one to each group. So 8, so I'm going to go 7, 6, 5, 4. I have $4 left. 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm out of money. I've used that $8. That $8 is now left. It's gone. So now that my money has been distributed, how much did each person get? Well, each person got 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 2. Each person got, you're right, $17 to contribute towards that gift. $17 is what they did. All right, let's take a look at how to solve that. Doing zone. Zone, zone, zone. So remember, when we set up zone, make sure your numbers are a little spaced out so they're not too cramped. Each number gets its own space, its own zone. So we're dividing 68 divided by 4. All right. First question, how many times can 4 go into 6? How many times can 4 go into 6? Counting by your multiples of 4, 4, 8, 12. Well, it looks like only once. We can only go one time. So I'm going to subtract 4, because 1 times, remember, sometimes it's helpful if you want to put that multiplication symbol there. 1 times 4 is 4. We subtract, and we get 2. 2 left over. And that leftover goes into your next zone, and it doesn't become 82. That new number goes in the front, and it becomes 28, and I'm done with that zone. New number created. All right, so now I'm going to ask myself, well, how many times does 4 go into 28? Again, here's where your multiples really help you out, my friends. And I know that 7 times 4 is 28. So I'll subtract 28. And again, my answer is 17. All right, let's take a look using division, our standard division. Create your house. The big number always goes inside the house. And we're dividing by 4. Same idea, zone, we're just not blocking off that space. 4 goes into, and again, if you need to, sometimes you need that reminder, that multiplying. This number times that will give you what you're going to subtract, okay? So 4 times what will get you close to 6? Well, 1 time, because of 2, it would be 8, and that's too much. So 1 times 4, we're going to subtract by 4, and I get 2. Now 4 can't be divided into 2, so I got to bring down my next number and make my brand new number. Now here's my new number. This is what I'm dividing by now. What times 4 will get you close to or right at 28? Well, this is our 3rd time doing this problem, so we know that that's 7. 7 times 4 will get you 28. We'll subtract, and we got 0, 0, and it's $17 again. Very good. All right, we are halfway done. Let's look at these next ones. The next couple ones are a little trickier, so let's dive in. Mr. Personette had $90 in his bank account. He took out a third of his money and spent it on books. Now, if each book cost $10, how many books did he buy? Oh, baby, this is looking like a 2-part question. Let's take it apart piece by piece. Let's look at that first part. Mr. Personette had $90 in his bank account. He took out a third of his money. So if he took out a third, we're going to divide that by how much, do you think? How much would a third be? Well, just as it is, 90 divided by 3. 90 divided by 3. So that's our first step. So let's figure that out. 90 divided by 3. So I'm going to use that in money. Make my 3 groups. Okay. If I gave each group $10, 10, 20, 30. Well, I can get closer than that. How about $20 a piece? 20, 40, 60. Well, I can get closer. How about $30 each? 30, 60, 90. Holy guac, 90. So if each person got $30 for each group, 30, 60, 90. So if I did 90 divided by 3, I would get 30. 30 would be my answer. So 90 divided by 3 is 30. Now remember, that's not our answer. That's just the first part. Because it said Mr. Personette had $90 in his bank account. He took out a third of his money. He took out a third, and he has $30 left. That's how much money he has now. He has $30. And then he bought some books. He had now $30, and he wanted to buy some books. Okay, we want to buy some books. Now the question is saying, if each book costs $10, well, how many books did he buy? If each book costs $10, how many books can you buy for $30? So what we're going to do is we're going to take how much he has is $30, and we're going to divide that by how much each book cost, which was $10, to figure out how many books. That's the question. If he had $30 and each book cost $10, the question is asking how many books can he buy? Well, we're looking at a simple division. 30 divided by 10. Now remember, division is just a flippity-flop of multiplication. So you can ask yourself, 10 times what equals 30? That what is your book. That's how many books you have. So 30 divided by 10, or 10 times what is 30? So take a second. How many books did Mr. Personette buy? How many books? So if we had 30 divided by 10, how many books did Mr. Personette buy? He bought 3 books. I bet you they were probably Stephen King books, because that's his favorite author. He bought 3 books. Fantastic. Another way you could have solved that equation is a multi-step. So we could have done 90 divided by 3. Okay, we had $90 divided by a third. We got 60. There's step 1. Step 2, oh, I'm sorry, that's not 60. It's 30. Oh, caught myself. It's okay. Second step is we take our 30, yes, $30, and we're going to divide that by the cost of the books, which were $10. So this is a multi-step. When you hear someone say it's a multi-step problem, that means there's more than one step. So we did 30 divided by 10 to figure out that he bought 3 books. He bought 3 books. So one of your problems is going to be like this, a multi-step. It's not a one and done, because then you got to finish it the rest of the way. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our final practice. Final practice. Again, you have a problem like this. I've just changed the people's names and a few of the numbers, okay? Here we go. Michaela and her 3 friends have saved $90 to protect the sloths. If they each give the same amount, how much did each person contribute? So I know the first thing you're going to want to figure out is we're doing 90 divided by what? So here's the tricky part. It's not 90 divided by 3 because you have to count Michaela as well. So it's really, we're going to go 90 divided by 4 because it's Michaela and, remember, and tells us to add, Michaela and her 3 friends. So our problem is going to be $90 divided by 4. Let's do it. We'll set it up. We have 90, divided by 4. If it's helpful, you can always write your dollar sign. Sometimes that's helpful for me because then I realize, oh yeah, we're still talking about money, okay? So I'm going to solve this the first way using our money strategy. So I'm going to create my 4 areas that's going to hold all my money. Okay. All right. First thing I'm going to ask myself, what's the largest number I can pull out to give each person without going over my $90? Without going over. Always a nice thing, start with 10. 10, 20, 30, 40. Well, I can get a lot closer than that. Let's try $20 a piece. 20, 40, 60, 80. Now we're talking $80. So let's do 20, 20, 20, and 20. All right, take a second. How much do we have left? We have 20, 40, 60, 80, okay? And we started with 90. Fast math, 90 minus 80, how much money do we have left? We have $10 left. I'm gonna write it down here. That's how much we have left. Started with 90. We have $10 left, okay? $10 left. Now you may be thinking, well, Miss Personette, I am a very smart mathematician. I know that 4 cannot go into 10 evenly. And I would say, you are 100% correct, which is why dealing with money is such a nice way to figure out how to divide numbers that don't go in evenly because you have change. You have a little leftovers after that dollar. So let's see how close we can get and then see how much we have left over, okay? So if I have $10 left, if I gave 1, 2, 3, 4, $1 a piece, I think I can do more. 2, 4, 6, 8. Ooh, that's close to 10. I'm gonna do that. So $2, $2, $2, and $2. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8, or take away 10, how much do I have left? 8 take away 10. We have $2. We have $2 left. So now, how do I split up $2 amongst 4 people? I can't give this person $1 and this person $1 and then these people have nothing. That wouldn't be fair to these last 2 people. So how would I break apart $2 amongst 4 people? Hopefully you've thought about quarters, that change. If I took $1 and I split it into 2 groups, I would have 50 cents plus 50 cents. 50 cents plus 50 cents, 2 quarters. 2 quarters gave me $1. So if I split up my second dollar, into 50 cents plus 50 cents. Here's my $2. And look, I now have 4 groups of 50 cents. So if I took each of those 50 cents and I gave it to each group, I've now evenly distributed those $2 amongst 4 people. So $2, 2 divided by 4 would be 50 cents. That's why dividing with money is so easy and great, that you can divide money, giving you that little extra, but being able to divide it so you can see it easier. So there leads me to my final question. 90 divided by 4. How much did each person get? $22.50. $22.50. Now again, you're going to have a problem like this on your worksheet. So hopefully this is helpful for you. $22.50. All right. We looked at it in money. Let's look at it in our zone. This can be solved in zone as well. So we're going to take our original problem of 90 divided by 4. Okay. Remember, you can pop in your multiplication symbol if that's helpful. Okay. So my multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, too big. 8 is the closest I can get, so that's 4 times 2. 2 times 4, we're going to subtract 8. All right. 9 minus 8 is 1. I'm done with this zone. Where does that 1 go again? You're right. Next door, my new number is 10. Now again, we're back at that same conundrum. 4 cannot go into 10. You're right. But remember, we're dealing with money and you have those leftovers. So how close can I get? Well, my multiples of 4 again. 4, 8, 12, too big. I can only do it twice. Boop. I'm going to subtract 8. And I got my 2 left over. So here's where we normally would write remainder 2. 22 remainder 2. And that's great if you're talking about cookies, or if you're talking about pancakes. Okay, you got 2 left over, but we're talking about money. So we got to figure out, again, if we have $2, this is really $2, not 2, but $2 split amongst 4 people, that's where we would get our 50 cents. $2 split between 4 people is that 50 cents. Okay. All right, last one, long division. We're going to go 90 inside the house, because the big number always goes inside that house, divided by 4. All right, same idea. Remember, again, I like to put that there just to remind me that this number times that is what I'm going to subtract. So what times 4 is going to give me close to 9? 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. I bring down my new number is 10. What times 4 is going to get me close to 10? Well, we know this is our third time. 2. Subtract 8. I get 2 as my leftover. So again, normally we would write remainder 2. But that's not just 2. It's not 2 markers. It's not 2 cats. It's not 2 pairs of scissors. It's really $2, because we're dealing with money. So again, we're going to divide $2 between 4 friends, would be 50 cents a piece. So we wouldn't have any remainders. Actually, I can just get rid of that. So your answer again, each person would get $2.50. So you're going to have a problem that's very similar to this equation in your math this week. Okay? Feel free to review Feel free to pause. All the problems are very similar. I just changed the way or the numbers and the people, so they're going to be a little helpful for you. If you have any questions, my friends, please reach out. I'll be here for you, and let me know if you need anything. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you during your first small group. So bye, friends.